I'm talking to Dr. Gwenn O'Keefe, pediatrician, mom, and founder of PediatricsNow.com, who says there are 3 simple steps to keep your family safe and healthy this summer. Dr. O'Keefe, please tell us more.
Well, there's a number of ways to keep families safe this summer, and I know for moms, and I'm a mom too, we like things simple. So the best way of thinking about summer safety is just to make sure everyone's drinking a bottle of water, to have on hand some sunblock in your bag and some insect repellent. And if you remember those 3 things all the time, everyone will be safe no matter what you're doing.
And as a pediatrician, what's the number 1 question you get about summer safety?
Well, that's really it. You know, how do you just kind of keep people from having sort of a lousy time outside? And I guess sort of the corollary to that is, do you really need sunblock or do you really need insect repellent? And, you know, what if my kids don't want it? And the answer is yes, you really do need those things, because if you don't have the right sunblock on, your kids will fry to sort of the shape of an Oompa Loompa, and they'll end up getting skin cancer later on, and that's a pretty sure thing nowadays. And if you don't have an insect repellent on, your kids are at high risk for not just uncomfortable bites, but they could get infected bites, and they could actually get an infection transmitted to them, like West Nile virus or even Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease, if caught early from a tick, we can treat, but West Nile virus we can't. So it only takes 1 bite. And if you put an insect repellent on, you know, you prevent that from happening. So even though it's a nuisance, and when you have teenagers, they resist these things, it can really prevent some serious problems later in life.
And what about some other ways to reduce your risk from insect bites? Is it true about wearing certain colors and eating certain foods?
You know, some of those old wives' tales some people swear by. I think the surest thing is to make sure, in addition to insect repellents, you know where you're going. So if you're going to a place that has a lot of insects, make sure you have an insect repellent with a high concentration of the insect repellent. So for example, if you're going to a place that's known to be mosquito infested, you wouldn't want to have DEET that has 7%. You'd want to have DEET that has 30%. And you might also want to wear long sleeves and long pants, or even look into some of the clothing that has insect protection in it, like you would if you were going to Africa, for example, where there's malaria, and they recommend some of those clothing. So you have to really know where you're going and how long you're going to be outside. Whereas if you're just mowing the lawn, you might not need all of those things. You know, you might only have a few mosquitoes in your backyard, and DEET with 7% might be fine. So you have to understand the activity you're doing and what the mosquito sort of count is going to be, and a simple search online can help you with that. The other thing is understand the age of your child. If you've got a child 2 months and over, you can use pretty much any product that has DEET and picaridin in it. They're both safe for those age groups. However, the more natural products that are newer, that brands like Cutter have, things like lemon eucalyptus and geranium oil, those a lot of moms love because they love the thought of natural. However, you can't use those in little infants, and you can't use those in young toddlers. Those are for 3-year-olds and up. But those are also very effective. So those are some of the considerations for picking a product.
And then are some people more susceptible to bug bites than others? I know you're a pediatrician, but I'm sure you know that the elderly maybe would be more susceptible as well.
You know, I'm not sure there's anything to that. You know, some people claim that they're just more susceptible to getting bitten. You know, I'll hear some people say, oh, I'm a magnet for bug bites. But, you know, I think it's just luck who gets bitten and who doesn't, which is why everybody needs to wear the insect repellent. You know, it's not like I'm more susceptible to getting West Nile virus than you are. It's just a matter of who gets bitten by the insect that happens to have it. It's not like getting the flu, where older people might be more susceptible to it than younger people. It's who gets the bite of the insect that carries it.
And this is all great information. Where can we go for more information?
Well, for the insect repellents, I'd suggest CutterInsectRepellents.com. And for general information, my website, PediatricsNow.com.
Thank you, Dr. O'Keefe.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.